So I'm driving around Australia, and I'm meeting all the people that inspire me, and I'm calling it with yarning with Aussie Legends. It's a bit of a tongue twister, actually, now that I try to say it out loud. But yeah, so firstly, introduce yourself.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'm Anthony and CEO of BATPUG over here in Australia.
Yep.
BATPUG's been running now for a couple of years. However, just started doing the products and basically, as you know, I love the outdoors. So got into that, loved the fishing, started getting into that. Trademarked our first product last year, being the Roadkill Grill. That's now listed on Amazon Australia. I've got it at Down to Earth Camping. I've got it at Still in Coburn. They've got it over here in Western Australia. It's also on Amazon Australia and Amazon US. So it's going well. We've got our second product hopefully coming out next year, but that's tight-lipped at the moment.
Right.
We're working with guys in the States, so on that. So
yeah, cool.
It's going well.
So obviously that's how I know you, but for the sake of this segment and that, we want to get to know what's kind of what's been involved in your life, what you've had to go through to eventually get to this point now where you're chasing a dream of starting your own business and being successful in it. So can you tell us firstly where you were born?
Yeah, mate, Queensland.
Queensland. So whereabouts in Queensland?
Ipswich.
Ipswich, right? And then so that's just west of Brizzy. So yeah, what'd you do then? You were at school. Like, what sort of student were you?
Yeah, I was born in Queensland. I stayed there for 3 years. Dad was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
So from there we moved down to Sale in Victoria. Dad was posted there. Up to Canberra after that. Did some schooling, my primary schooling in Canberra, and then come across to WA for my high school years.
Yep.
Left high school, went over to England for a couple of months, just seeing the sights and that. Came back and joined the Army Reserves, and with the intention of going into the regular army at a later date. So with that, I took a job as a bicycle courier to keep fit, and in June '98 transferred into the regular army with the full intention of going to infantry. I'd done infantry in the Army Reserves, and that was my plan, to go full-time regular army infantry. A little bit way through the course, I busted my ankle on a dirt bike, and it ruined my dream, ruined my opportunity, but still wanted to be in the military. I transferred to transport, so basically I wasn't on my feet all the time, and went from there. While in transport, I was able to do 2 tours to East Timor, and with INIFET, and a year later under the UN, United Nations. Started on 20th September '99. We went over on the 10th of October. 20 days later after it started, and saw some interesting stuff and met some interesting people. And each tour went for 6.5 months.
Yeah.
Come home after the second trip, and on the second trip I met guys from 4RR. And
sorry, so they 4RAR?
Yeah, Royal Australian Regiment. It's an infantry unit. At the time based out of Sydney, or at that time, it was based out of Sydney. But they were disbanding and going into a commando role. And not being able to do infantry, I thought, well, this might be a good opportunity to see what the Special Forces do. So talking to a couple of guys up in Timor led me to transferring to 4RR at the time, which is now the 2nd Commando Regiment in Sydney.
Yeah.
Did a couple of years there, and I had an opportunity whilst over there to do mining back here in Western Australia. So I discharged in August 2004 and came back and went mining.
So you were in the armed forces from reserves all the way through to 2004, was what, like 8 years?
8 years all up. I joined Army Reserves in '96.
Yeah, so how old were you then?
I was 19.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep. So before you were 19, what did you do?
So I spent three months in England travelling around.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yep. I worked on stations up north. Worked at Edudina and Menangana Station.
Yep.
On the other side of Kalgoorlie, I've worked at Sturt Meadows and Ida Valley.
So what were you doing at those stations?
Roustabout.
Yeah. Right.
Doing fences.
Yeah. Cool.
Jackaroo.
Yeah. Nice. Man of all trades, eh?
Yes, sir.
That's it. And then, so then, obviously I don't want to force you to talk about too much in the army, but like what's some insight you can share as in, when how much downtime do you have or how much...
I'll talk about 4, or now the 2 Commander Regiment.
Yep.
When I was there, it was full on. We got leave, but our operational readiness and getting the guys ready to go away was full on. There wasn't much downtime at all.
Yeah.
But I dare say it was, in my military time, was the best time of my life.
Yeah, okay.
In my military time, it was the guys we met from not only Australia but different armies around the world was fantastic. Working with them, going on exercises with them was really, really good, and just different ways of doing things and incorporating their ways into the unit, and which makes it into a world class, organisation today.
So like, what kind of roles does that kind of involve, I suppose? Yeah.
Okay. At the time, the commando role was to conduct large-scale offensive operations beyond the scope of other ADF elements. So, but jumping in via parachute into the water, over the horizon stuff, attacking beachheads, and seizing and holding the ground on the beachheads until a larger force can arrive, and then or hitting a target and bugging out after that.
Yeah, okay. So, like, obviously you went through a few different teams. So, like, what sort of training do you get in reserves? Like, I always thought, oh man, it would have been kind of pretty cool life skills that you'd pick up by going to reserves and that. But obviously that's just an assumption. So, like, what skills do you pick up while you're 19 going to the reserves and that?
I've become a man, basically.
Yeah.
They teach you to become a man, they teach you discipline.
Yep.
They definitely teach you the left and the right of wrong, and if you don't pull the line, they'll, as I said, you join the army doesn't join you. So they don't, they've got a job to fill, and that job is war fighting.
Yeah.
And they condition you for war fighting, and as I said, you join the army, they don't join you.
Yeah, that's interesting, mate. Never heard that actually before.
It's a lot of good skills, a lot of disciplining, but the comradeship amongst the guys that you meet, can never be underestimated.
Yeah, so like, as a 19-year-old, what kind of things do you do day to day? Because one of my cousins, he was in the reserves for a little bit, and he was saying, you learn how to like discharge your weapons, or you obviously get you physically into shape, and you're doing.
That's right. Camps. Yes, I would start the morning doing PT, physical training. That would go for an hour and a half. Plus, on the outside of work, you might do that as well as a hobby, which what we did at that time, especially with being involved with 2 Commando. And a lot of the guys train outside as well. We had guys riding from Sydney to Adelaide and back. One of the guys there, he was a bit of a mutant in the unit, and there's a lot of guys that did certain things that just was outside the scope of just a normal army unit. Just going back to that. So and from there after PT, we'd go to brekkie, have a feed, and get back down to where we were working for the day, and i.e. go through the vehicles, make sure everything was tip-top shape. If anything required fixing, you'd fix them on the day. From there you might do lessons with, any, and that could range from anything military-wide, from your basic weapon to, a platoon or a section-sized weapon to whatever.
Yeah, right. So, I'm just intrigued. What sort of vehicles you're driving? What sort of?
Well, back then it was Army 110, right? Land Rover. We had different boat type boats we were able to access as well.
Yeah. So you were able to pick up, say, like obviously you already had your car licence, but what other licences
Yeah,
did you pick up?
got my ATV licence, got my motorbike licence,
All through while that been at the army?
all through being the army, truck driver's licence. You can, a lot of the skills, especially with licences, are transferable. There's a lot of skills that aren't.
Yeah.
But I was able to pick up a lot of it.
Yeah, cool.
But the most skills that I picked up were basically dealing with people. And that, it's something that can't, I dare say, it can't be handed down. You've got to experience and live it to gain that skill and to talk to other people and just to treat other people with respect. I think a lot of that's gone these days. But talking, to guys with respect and just hearing them out and being able to be there for them, and just have that shoulder to cry on when times are tough.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like I just feel like so many, kids come out of school, don't know what to do, and
the army's definitely a way forward.
Yeah, but like it's not necessarily something that schools recommend for the kids or anything.
No,
so,
that's right.
It's just interesting to hear what kind of skills kids could, pick up out of school and get ready for life. Because like truck license and all that would just come in so handy.
But that's only one thing.
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many different roles in the military where you can, whether it be Navy, Air Force or Army, the skills you learn, you've got them for life. There's many apprenticeships you can do. You can virtually pick an apprenticeship and go and do it in the military.
Yeah. So did you do an apprenticeship of any kind?
No, I didn't.
No,
I didn't. No, I was just infantier. Just did basic soldering and that was my. As you know personally, I like shooting, so I just wanted to get. I was young and dumb and just wanted to get in there and shoot all the guns and, and have a good time, and which I'll be honest, which I did. I was able to definitely scratch that itch.
Yeah.
So.
No, cool, man. So then, so you obviously said 2004 you finished up there.
Yeah, that's right.
So after 8 years, and then you went into mining, you were saying?
Yeah, we did underground mining for another 8 years.
Righto.
And that was all over Australia.
Yeah,
all over Australia. A lot of it in WA, about 85% of it over here in WA.
So what sort of places are you talking?
Started at a place just out of Leonora.
Yep.
Laverton. And then from there went down to a place near Norseman, which was Red Ross. I've gone back a few years now. Red Ross, went from Red Ross up to Wattle Grove, did Flying Fox, other mines I've been to, Gwalia, Emily Ann, the Caves mine.
So you've been everywhere, eh?
Yeah, CSA mine over in New South Wales, Tanami Desert, worked at Coyote mine and all that.
So what do you do underground? Like you're not digging for opals or anything? So.
No. Back when I first went there, it was gold. That was at Laverton there, at Granny Smith mine there. That's when the first mine we were at. It was called the Wallaby Decline, and I've done a lot: gold, copper, zinc, and now, as you know, up top doing the surface stuff. So, but yeah, definitely an insight. I took that job thinking I was operating a pick and shovel. I had no idea about the tools used or anything, and a mate of mine got me in, and it was a great opportunity, and I just went in there with both eyes open, willing to learn, and made my way up through the ranks doing it that way.
Yeah. So through the 8 years, or like you've worked your way up the ranks, what kind of positions did you hold?
So you start as a nipper, which is basically running bolt and mesh to the underground drill, which is a jumbo. And that's a tireless, thankless job, but the guys I know, the jumbo operators, really appreciate a good nipper, because without them, they don't make their money, especially doing the contract stuff. From there, you go up to driving a truck, where articulated trucks or the rigid ones, 769 or the AD Toros or AD 55s or the Toros, I should say. From there, you make your way up to service crew, which is basically doing all your pipe work in the mines, but for the day-to-day runnings of it, whether you're using it, for your pumps, running airlines, you know, to operate your machinery or whatever, or your water lines, you know, to get water to your drills, you know, just or your ventilation, which is a biggie, obviously. From there, you can either go to shotcreting, which is ground support, basically throwing cement on all the walls for the ground support, so the mine doesn't cave in, and that was interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I actually spent a few years doing that, and then on and off with charge up with explosives underground, doing all the headings, whether it be production or development charge up, you know, or whether doing a lot of that, and then up to boggers. And it was really strange the day I got my bogger ticket. I'll never forget it. I was with a guy by the name of Terry. We come out of the hole, my phone, I had my phone, and I went beep beep. What's that? My phone, mate. I knew what it was. I was expecting a call, which is why I had it on me. And I got an opportunity to go to Rio Tinto. So
is this the Terry that we both know?
No, Terry was a trainer at the time. But,
Okay, so
the Terry that we both know that got us definitely. It got me into the surface stuff. And how I met Terry was during the GFC. I took a break in mining for 18 months, and I started a Jim's Lawn Mine around in Maddington.
Oh, right.
Over here in Perth. That was our first business, my wife's and my first business, and we started with 45 customers. 15 were terrible. Like, I don't even know how this guy soldged around and got away with it, but he did. But anyway, we got into that. So technically we had 30 good customers, which may sound a lot, but that's basically one lawn a day, a month. So you've definitely got to go in with, as I said, eyes wide open and just basically trying to grow your business.
Yeah.
From there. And we turned it around to 180 customers. So we were mowing up to 20 lawns a day, 25 lawns a day. I got into fencing, learned how to do all the colorbond fencing and all that as well. So we were doing that over the winter months, and it grew and grew and grew. So
and you only did it for 18 months?
Well, I only did it for 18 months, and we ended up with 180 customers, full-time customers that we were servicing, no worries at all. And I had my brother-in-law working for me, a nephew working for me at the time, and it was great. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
What style if you're doing that? Like, that sounds like it was racking in.
Yeah, it was. It was doing really well, but it was the longer hours, the very long hours for doing it. So it was sun up to sundown, basically, and I couldn't plan holidays. We were that busy, I just could not get a break.
Yeah, okay.
So I said to my wife, it's just easy going back on wages. So we took the bullet and sold it in stages. Took the missus and the kids to Thailand for a holiday on some of our earnings, and invested the rest, and went back mining.
Yeah, okay.
And the very last lawn I mowed was that Terry that we both know.
Yeah, okay.
And his lawn was a shocker. It really was. He, that was
Sometimes I picture him as that. Have you seen the movie The World's Fastest Indian?
No.
Oh, there's this bit where like he's an old codger living in his shed in the back of his property, and like he can't be bothered mowing, and it's like knee height, just
mate. This
grass.
was 4 foot high,
yeah.
An acre of land. Apparently, I was the 7th lawnmower man that he'd called that day.
But like in the movie, this bloke just pours petrol over it and drops the
I can see Terry
cigarette on.
I can see Terry doing that. So we went down there, and I had a ride on lawnmower, and said, "Yeah, mate, we can do this."
Yeah.
So I hooked in and did it, and I rang him up later in the day for a payment. And I'm Terry from Rio Tinto. So I used to work in mining. This would be a great way to get back into it.
Yeah, nice.
So I hung up the phone. I didn't let him even talk. I just hung up the phone, and I went around this lawn, mate, and I mowed it to spiff. You know what I mean? Like it was probably the best lawn that I'd ever mowed in the 18 months. And I went straight to the pub, got a 6-pack of beer, brought it back to the trailer, and gave him a call. And he said, "Mate, I'm on site." So I went, bugger. So he said, "Don't worry, I'll get you a job if you want." And there's a long story cut short. And I'll give you the money when you come up here.
Yeah, nice.
So it was my longest outstanding debt in Jim's mowing from Terry. But
he's a bit of a stingy bugger.
He is a stingy bugger. But mate, I owe him my life. That guy, he changed my life.
Yeah.
They said I was with him for 18 months. Closer to 2 years at Rio. And then he got a Guernsey to go to BHP, and he took me and another fellow with him. And yeah, still at BHP now. So yeah, enjoying it.
Yeah. So how long have you been there now?
6 years, coming up 6 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's good.
And you're saying you're on the surface. So
That's right. So yeah, surface shot firing now.
So what's the shot firing?
Basically doing the lard paddock type shot firing, 900, 600 ton blasts.
Oh, right.
So yeah,
big drill and blast kind of.
Yeah, big drill and blast type patterns. But I got out of that. I actually got out of the shot firing role once I left Eastern Ridge and just mainly more into the blast controlling, like running the blast and all that type of stuff now, which, there's only so many times you can push a button before you get sick of it. So, and running the crews. So I've done all of that. I'll let the other guys now that haven't done much of it have a go, and I'd rather just do the blast controlling, and it's good. You go around meeting all different guys from different departments, and just it's more of a relaxing type day.
That's good.
Up at work.
That's what you want.
Exactly.
The grin on your face says it all, mate.
Yeah.
So obviously, the reason I know you though is because of your BATPUG thing. So firstly, how did that all start? Obviously, you were talking about your your passion for your fishing and camping and all that. And then what made you think I'm gonna create a product that I can use while camping or whatever?
Well, as I said, I was in transport in the army, and we would rock up to locations and eat. And the boys will all say it, like an army like Cork is called a fitter and turner. And the reason they're called fitters and turners is because they fit it in a pot and turn it into shit. and that's true. They're fitters and turners. And so the idea came up that I saw a standard one of these boxes, a 12-volt one of these boxes, and I thought, oh yeah, I could make a better one of these, So I started looking into it, and then last year, when I really, this is going back about a year and a half ago, last year around April, I had the opportunity to walk the Thai-Burma Railway, and with a couple of ex-army guys. And during that walk, I didn't have any outside pressures, and it was just basically me, myself, the guys. But on the walk, everyone's just, head down, bum up, and just walk one foot in front of the other. So it gave you a lot of time to think and just reflect on life and all of that. So one of the guys was a SAS fella, Don Boyle. He's a massive investor, and with he wishes shares and whatever else he does. But he's like, mate, if you want to do anything, sell your passion. Sell something that you will love, because if you sell your passion, it will never fail.
Yeah, right.
If you sell your passion, if you put your passion behind what you sell, it will not fail, because you would hate to see what you love the most fail.
Yeah.
So I come up with the name BATPUG, and that's from my two beautiful, beautiful boys, Batista and Pugger. So
how did you get the name Batista?
Batista was a Russian wrestler from the kids. Yeah, the kids named him.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, oh yeah, no worries. So we had Pugger first, and my wife named him. And I won't go into why she named him on camera, but I'll tell you after. That's no way.
Okay.
But yeah, she named him Pugger. But with Batista, the kids named him, and no one knew that I was getting him. I just bought him for Kath's birthday and said, right, we're getting another dog. I just love their breeds.
Yeah.
They're hell of a little Pugaliers. They're just, to me, they're beautiful. So and sadly Pugger passed away, 3 weeks ago on the 23rd. So, but yeah, no, it's all going good.
So then you just obviously made that to your name.
Yeah.
But your passion is in the camping products. And
That's
stuff.
right. Yeah, me outdoor camping and
So like
fishing and whatever.
I often look at things and go, oh, I could make this to solve my problem. I'm not always thinking about the general public's problem. I'm thinking quite self-centered in terms of all my brilliant ideas that I have, which are, few. Like, trying to serve my purpose.
Yep.
So what was it in your head, though, that thought, I'm going to start this business that other people are going to benefit from, and how can you bring it to the people? Like, what was it? Because you weren't necessarily, like, your business mind in the sense of, you did landscaping, but manufacturing and all that sort of stuff doesn't sound like it was something that you'd done before. So.
No, that's right. It's totally, like, I failed school. I'm not, I'm the first to admit it. I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. But what I was able to do...
The sharpest tool in the shed, not the smartest tool.
Basically, yeah. And, so what I was able to do was, our family's been very good with innovation and stuff like that. My uncle is an inventor. So basically through his guidance, he said, mate, I was telling him about the fitters and turners in the army. He goes, well, come up with a cooking device, or if you can find one and better at, do it. So the Roadkill Grill, that's how the Roadkill Grill was born. So I did a course over in Sydney about importing, basically about finding an awesome product that serves people, that I could replicate, make it better and sell again. So, and that's basically the importer's dream, is to find a product that's selling well, replicate it and punch it out again. So the reason I sold and I got into the Roadkill Grill was the name. That come from driving around Australia and pulling up at a roadhouse one day and seeing a menu called the Roadkill Grill. And I thought, that is such a good name.
Yeah.
This is going back 20 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
And wow, what an awesome little name, And then I saw the box, these little 12-volt food warmers. And I thought, wow, what a... everyone's just calling a 12-volt food warmer, how dumb is that? Basically, how dumb is it? So I just went, no, we've got to do something Australian here. Got to give it a bit of a lingo. So, and
obviously a bit of a facelift. You've put in a fair few adaptations to it. Like, I've been obviously taking one around my travels around Australia and found it, pretty handy to just cook up on the side of the road, or prepare your food on the side of the road, drive for 2 hours or an hour or whatever.
That's right.
And then you pull up and your food's hot and you're ready to go.
Yeah.
From going through this course, learning about manufacturing and all that, and obviously you're saying you serve the people, as providing a good product for them. Tell us what's I suppose how you went about starting the business and. Where you're at the moment, because you were saying you've got a second product coming later on.
That's right. So my wife and I got married back in 2014, and as I said, we sold the business from Jim's, and we had a little bit of cash money left over, so I had a tin just sitting there, and I thought, well, might as well put this. No point, keeping money under your bed. It doesn't do anything for you. So, I started. I dare say the bank manager thought I was a drug dealer when I was putting some money into the bank. And then it took off from there. So I met a lady online, the original manufacturer of them, named Lisa, and I probably have about 1,500 to 2,000 messages from her about the Roadkill Grill and how I wanted to make it better. And the poor thing, I love it a bit. She actually went away to find out for one of my questions and didn't get back to me for a few weeks. So I thought she had flagged me and give me the flick. So, what am I going to do now? So I was back to the drawing board. So I got on a hold of a sourcing agent out of China, and I told them that I wanted one of these 12-volt food warmers and, find us whatever. And they go, no, we will find you the best 12-volt food warmer on the market. And I went, all right, do it. So obviously, and they came back to me with not just outstanding manufacturing, but what they came back to me was that the people in China that make them are well looked after. And to me, that was huge, because if I ever want to sell this thing down the road, whatever, I can, but the person who buys it from me knows that the people who manufacture this product are well looked after and treated with respect. And to me, that's everything, because it's who I am deep down, you know what I mean? I couldn't sell something if I knew that the people who built it were getting whipped or flogged, you know. It's just, no, it's not me, mate. So, funny thing is, Up Lisa's company, and she was put back in contact with me. And that's just how it started. So, had I persevered and, you know, probably would have showed about probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 months off the lead time for the first one to hit the market. So, yeah, just basically, and we went from there. Yeah. And then just grew, and so ordered 500. As I said, bought 72 to Australia, 28 to me home, because I just wanted to sell them just on my own, just to have the excitement of selling something, like, you know, bringing it to market and actually selling it with the BATPUG logo on it. To me, would have just was like a high, you know. So that's why I wanted the 28, and then a mate of mine and I, we picked them up from the transport yard in Kewdale there, and I went around on your advice, took it to Down to Earth, and they said they wanted them, and, and I was like, oof. But they didn't just want a few; they wanted about 80% of them. So they all went basically, and the rest to still. They, you know, I now have none left. So that was really good. They've taken it and ran it, and it's been you know, a success ever since. Yeah,
righto. So obviously you said you can't really tell us what the next products are, but you're thinking keeping on the 12-volt line, or just along the food line, or?
Along the food line, I think the Kiwis are going to love it.
Yeah, okay. So that's a little taste test, right?
Yeah, I think the Kiwis are absolutely going to love it.
Yeah.
So what we're
you like the pun there, the taste test in the food line?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We'll give you. Yeah. I think the Kiwis will love this one.
Okay.
So
so is it in the back of your head, being, you know, like the roadkill grill came about because you were sitting there thinking, oh, these fitters and turners in the army are just, you know, not good. Have you got a fair few in the back of your head that you just one at a time?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So the business is going to be based around funky names.
Yeah, okay.
So like the roadkill grill and the other stuff that's coming on.
Yeah.
So I've got about eight different product lines that we'll be launching over the next few years.
How do you go sleeping? Like, because I was telling you this morning how, you know, once I've got an idea in my head, I'll go on full pelt until I've, you know, everything else is just like the blinkers aren't on, it's just straight in.
There's been nights where I don't sleep.
Yeah.
I just look at the roof and think and try and benefit it, and then there's been many times where the wife's kicked me and said, what are you doing on your phone? It might be 3 o'clock in the morning when I'm researching stuff, and, you know, if I can do that and then, you know, make it better down the track, I will. And we're fully customising this next product, which going into Kickstarter with it, which is basically a crowdfunding type organisation that can help get this next one off the ground. So
yeah, cool.
It's out of America, this next product. The designers and manufacturers will be out of America. Engineering mob over there, but other than that, that's
all you can do
at the moment, mate. But I'm very, very excited about that one. That's going to blow the doors off a few people.
Yeah, nice.
And as I said, the Kiwis will enjoy it.
See, I love how, like, while I'm talking to you, your face is obviously beaming, just talking about what's to come and that. So you're obviously really passionate about it and you're excited for it. So that's pretty cool, because there's obviously a lot of business owners that are like, I just need to make a living out of this.
Yeah, that's right.
But you're still working up in the mines.
Yeah, that's right. So this is just a part-time hobby.
Yeah.
But what I'm bringing to market is things that I use myself, that I want to use, and why not? You know, but just with funky names. So you know what I mean? So people walk up and go, oh wow, you know, and that's as I said, that happened to you over east. You know, on one of your travels, you're saying that you know.
One of my mates, he saw a photo I had of it on Instagram or something, and when I met up with him, he's like, oh, show us that little toolbox cooker or whatever, and then I pulled it out and he goes, oh, the roadkill grill, what a cool name. He loved it. Yeah. No, it was gold. Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, and like you've got, obviously work like a fair bit of the time and that. So, how much time does it actually take to set up these kind of businesses? And you're saying you're staying awake some nights doing it, but
it's non-stop.
Yeah,
it's non-stop. But you know what? I don't see it as a chore because it's a passion. And you know, if the customers don't like it, just reach out to us. You know, just reach out to us through Facebook. You know, and it's usually me that'll respond. You know, that's the type of quality and the customer assurance that I've got, that they can talk to me, you know, directly. You know, talk to the owner of the business. You know, a lot of businesses out there, we've got to talk to the two up or three up or whatever. Come and talk to me, the manufacturer. Not the manufacturer, the owner of the company. You know.
That's
you know, I mean, that's what I want. You know.
Yeah.
Just basically good old Aussie customer service.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us about your obviously, yeah, I've shown off the roadkill grill a little bit because I love it as well. Comes in handy while camping. But you've got a website that is what BATPUG.
BATPUG.com.au.
Yep. And what sort of stuff have you got on there as well?
It's just basically a lot of camping and fishing products that we use, you know, on a regular basis. That we found comfortable, that we found that eased. Basically, it eased our day. So they're the stuff that I've got on. You know, there's nothing, you know, hip hop or, you know, second rate or anything like that. These are quality products that we're selling to basically help people along.
Yeah.
You know, and as I said, if you go to the top of the page, there's a first time buyer. You know, they can get their 10% discount.
Yeah, right.
You know? So
you'll love a bargain, mate.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. So that's with Get Some. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the old army, get some. You know what I mean? So that's how I've gone with that. So yeah, bit of a joker, but
yeah, nice.
I think you've got to be these days.
No, it's cool, mate. Well, look, I'm you know, pretty chuffed chatting to you and hearing about the passion of your business, mate. And that. And it's obviously cool to hear about your background, you know, your army days and you know, all that's like very interesting. And I'm sure there's a lot that you haven't gone through, and I understand why. But I can certainly appreciate how you've had a lot of workplaces, a lot of things you would have had to deal with in the army that have influenced your life. So you've seen a lot of the world, or seen a lot of things that most people don't see, and just finally see you've been able to put it all into a passion and all that sort of stuff. It's really cool to see. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So, like, what do you do in your downtime? You were saying you're fishing and stuff. But
yeah, do a bit of hunting around Australia. Getting into Northern Territory next year. Met a guy through work who wants to take me up there and get some barra and some wild boar and all that out of the territory. A mate of mine down here, Andy, he's asked us to get into a little bit of hunting around here. So yeah, that's about it. That's about it, mate.
Yeah, nice. Is that better?
Nah, it's crap.
I tried to be good about this.
No, you're all right, mate. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
There we go.
Yeah, beauty.
Alright, so it's just as bad, if not worse.
No, it's fine, mate. It's fine.
No, that's cool, mate. Look, I really appreciate you giving up your time to talk to me, mate. It's cool to hear more about your about where you've come from, what you've had to go through in life, and I'm chuffed for you that you've been able to put it all into something that you're passionate about.
Anytime.
Yeah, thanks for your time, mate.
Anytime, buddy.
Alright, take it easy, eh?
You too. See you, mate.